Hey guys, Sam here, welcoming you back to the Bradford City Road to Glory career mode, and today I have a very chilled episode for you guys. We're going to be wrapping up the League 1. We're going to take a look at the league table, squad report, top goal scorers, and we're going to also reveal our MVP, our top 5. I've been showing the top 3 with EA's votes, but I want to give a shout out to the entire top 5 and show you guys who's been performing in my eyes and in EA's eyes combined. So we're going to start off with the league table, and as you can see, that's how the league ended after the last episode. We finished with 29 wins, 11 draws and 6 losses, putting us on 98 points, and I was very, very happy with that. I can't believe we did this well. I honestly didn't believe we would with only 6 losses and 31 goals conceded. Our defending was incredible, and so was our attack with 77 goals. So we got Preston in second, who really, towards the end of the season, put a lot of pressure on us to play well because they were picking up a lot of points. They actually did tail off towards the end of the season, dropped a couple points and allowed us to get a 10-point gap. But they also join us in the championship, so it'll be fun to see where they end up compared to where we end up next season. And either Leyton Orient, Port Vale, Scunthorpe and Crawley Town will join us in the championship, and we'll be able to see that a little bit later on when I advance it and we get towards like the last couple of days. We're able to see who won the playoffs. Oldham missed out by 4 points, so it was pretty tight going into the last episode, but it seems like Crawley and Scunthorpe and Port Vale and Leyton really pushed and got ahead of the pack. As you can see, Oldham, 19 wins, 18 losses. That was their downfall. They were doing really well at the start of the season. I don't know if you guys remember, they were like first. But if they'd converted some of those losses into draws, they could have really, really been there. That's a lot of losses. I mean, take a look at all the way down to Peterborough. No one lost more games than Oldham. So that was really their downfall, that they didn't get enough draws. Walsall in 8th, Sheffield, Bristol, Gillingham, Barnsley, MK Dons, Chesterfield, Colchester, Peterborough, Doncaster, Swindon, Yeovil and Fleetwood. And then you have Coventry, Notts, Rochdale and Crewe all going down. Maybe Coventry plays in like a playoff thing. I don't know how it works in League 1, League 2. Because there's 4 relegation spots. I think Coventry plays in like a... I think Coventry plays 4th spot in... I don't know. You guys will have to let me know if you are close with the League 1 or League 2. You guys will have to let me know. But yeah, I mean, we killed it. So I was really happy with that. Taking a look at some of the other competitions. In the FA Cup, we have a United versus City game. A Manchester derby. That's pretty incredible. I'd like to see where that ends up. Taking a look at some of the teams from League 1 or the Championship, you have Bournemouth, who made it to the round of 16. Cardiff made it to the round of 16. Norwich, Watford, and that's pretty much it. Everyone else was a Premier League side, which is absolutely incredible. That we would have loved to make it a bit far. We would have loved to have gotten that round of 16, but you know, we were really focusing on the league. That was really my main focus, because realistically, I don't think we could have won it. Capital One Cup, Sunderland have beat Watford. And as you may notice, there are a lot less Premier League sides in this. We've got the likes of Watford again, making it quite fun, a domestic cup. We have also Barnsley there, who drew 0-0 with West Brom. We have Reading, Wigan is there. So a couple of different teams, a couple of the smaller teams mixing it up. And eventually it was a Sunderland versus Watford final. And Sunderland came out on top, so they won themselves a domestic cup, which is pretty cool. Jane Pate Trophy, they don't show a entire bracket. But MK Dons beat Northampton 3-1, which is pretty good. And there is the League 1 playoffs, which we'll be checking back into a little bit later on in the episode. It's Leyton Orient versus Crawley Town and Port Vale versus Scunthorpe. So it'll be interesting to see my prediction before. You can see right here, you can see the screen, you can see me. My prediction is Port Vale versus Leyton Orient in the final, and I think Leyton Orient make it through. There, that's my prediction, and watch it just be completely wrong. Watch Crawley versus Scunthorpe make the final, which wouldn't surprise me. But yeah, I think that's it. Yeah. Oh, and the Champions League. Oh, look at that. Barca Bayern final. That's incredible. Bayern slapping around City. They also had to get through Real Madrid. Barca had to go through Besiktas and Roma. Not really the best competition. Also Napoli. But yeah, that's going to be an interesting final. Europa League. Not that anyone cares, but it's Spurs versus Dortmund. I'm surprised to see Dortmund and Chelsea in there, but yeah. Spurs versus Dortmund, I don't really want to predict anything. But that's how the league ends. Let's take a look at some of the top scorers and assists and clean sheets and all that. So let's get into some team stats. Alright, so as you can see, Zoko is at the top of the league goals. 31 goals, guys. How am I not going to sign him next season? Oh, such a tough decision. I still don't know up to this point. As you can see, Agard got 20 goals for Bristol City, and Gallagher actually got 18. If you remember, like, mid-season, I was saying that we wanted to get Gallagher up to double digits. He was on, like, 7 or 8 goals, and I'm like, if he could hit 10 goals by the end of the season, I'd be really happy. And he's like, 10. Mate, I'll try and get 20. And he nearly did as well. 18 goals. He had a brilliant second half of the season. Really, really, really proud of Gallagher, because he was a signing. It was, I think, our first signing, so... Or maybe it was second. Maybe we signed Reed first. But he was really... A lot of pressure put on him to come into this team and play well. And he started off a bit rusty, but eventually he got there. And he's in the top 3, which is amazing. Reeves from NK Dons and Johnson from Preston make up the top 5. Take a look at the assists. Gallagher is at the top, which I'm quite surprised about as a striker. But he got 11 assists, and I guarantee you 10 of them were Zoko goals. But yeah, taking a look, I think he's our only player in the top 15, which is incredible. But you've got the likes of Simpson, El Camus, Andrew, and Pope. So a couple teams, you know, even Rochdale, who came last, have a player in there. So yeah, assists, no one really pays attention to them, but I actually find assists quite intriguing. I'm surprised Gallagher's up to the top. I put assists as good as goals, in my opinion. As you can see, at clean sheets, Pickford 23. And a lot of you will think that that's Pickford doing well, but it really wasn't. It wasn't Pickford doing well at all. It was our defence doing well. Pickford really didn't have to do much in most of those clean sheets, and when he did have to do something, when he had to make a save, he stuffed up. He really wasn't... I didn't like Pickford. Despite getting 23 league clean sheets in 43 games, that's more than a clean sheet every 2 games. I don't like him. He's very inconsistent. He lets in the easiest of goals. And depends on how much he costs. I might be looking at another English goalkeeper, because I do want to have an English goalkeeper in my side, but I'm not sure. I still don't know with Pickford. We're going to have to see next episode where I actually start signing some players. Yellow cards, 12 was the main one, and Hodson from MK Dons got 4 red cards. Mate, you deserve to be sacked. 4 red cards, are you nuts? Anyway, next we're going to take a look at... next we're going to take a look at a squad report and take a look at who's been growing. Pickford, yeah, honestly, yeah, I'm not too impressed with Pickford at all. 325k though is pretty cheap, depending on how much money we have. Stephen Dobbie, who was our captain for a lot of the season, but then he got injured and I gave it to, I believe, Davies. 48 games played, 22 clean sheets when he played, and he also went up 1 overall. Probably going to give him the armband next season because he's been an absolute beast in right back. I absolutely love Stephen Dobbie. Andrew Davies, with 48 appearances for the club, played very well, but of course he's 30 years old, so we're probably going to keep him as a squad player, but I doubt he'll be a starting centre-back. I do want to bring in 2 new centre-backs next season, and have Davies as the 3rd centre-back. Mackenzie, who's out on loan, who won't be coming back to the club, I can already guarantee you that, played 44 games. He was a good player, don't get me wrong, but 29 years old at 475,000, I'm not looking to sign Mackenzie permanently at all. But yeah, he was a good player, to be honest. Even without the pace, he was very good. James Meredith, who finished the season as our starting left-back, surprisingly. He went up by 3 overall, which is really, really good. 27 years old, 64 rated. He's definitely going to be in the squad next season. Whether he'll be the starting left-back, I'm not sure. Lloyd Isgrove, who also went up 3. He got injured very early on in his career at Bradford, but when he came back, he was a boss, guys, and he's gone up 3 overall, up to a 67 rated, played 33 games, 4 goals, 4 assists, and those are his stats, which are pretty good, and I might sign him permanently. Depends on how much it costs. I have a feeling he's going to be over $1 million, which I'm not sure I'm going to be able to afford him, just plain and simple. In the centre of midfield, Billy Knott played 35 games. He got 3 goals, 7 assists, really well done. Very, very happy with Billy Knott's season, actually, and he's grown up 2 overall as well, which is really, really good. Next to him is Harrison Reed, our boy Reed. I believe he was our first signing. It was either him or Gallagher, and I think it was Reed. Taking a look back at it now, with 4 goals, 8 assists from his 42 games played. The papers didn't like him. The papers were like, nah, he's not playing well at Bradford, but I think he played extremely well. So I'm happy with Harrison Reed, and he's definitely our main man. We've built the team around him, in my opinion, and he is going to be at this club for a long time, unless he wants to leave, which I hope he doesn't. On the left-hand side, Mark Yeats. He went up 2 overall, and Yeats was a bit... I don't really know. Yeats' season was really good at the start. Then he sort of just became another one of the players. You know, he just became really average. 30 years old now, 49 games played, 4 goals, 6 assists is a pretty decent tally for a left mid at 30 years of age. But as you can see, he's injured for 4 weeks, and I'll probably be looking at replacing him and maybe putting him on the bench. As far as strikers, we have Gallagher, who's still just 19 years old, with 42 appearances, 18 goals, 11 assists. Very, very happy with that. Couldn't be happier with that. I think he scored a bunch of goals. He got his assists as well, so he was really involved with the team. Went up 3 overall. Couldn't be happier with Gallagher. He's going to be here next season. He's our main man as well. Him and Harrison Reed are our main men. But the real main man, Francois Zoko, 47 games played, 32 goals scored, 5 assists. 31 years old. What do I do, guys? What do I do? I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do with Zoko. I'll be honest with you guys. I don't know what I'm doing with Zoko. I don't want to look at him anymore. Going through the rest of the squad, I'll go very quickly. Ben Williams. Halliday went up by 3, who was our starting left back at the start of the season. He's probably going to be our starting left back, to be honest with you guys, but I really do enjoy Meredith, especially because he's Australian. Maybe I'm a bit biased, I don't know. Philippe Morai, who was kind of our main man on the right-hand side until we signed Isgrove on loan, and Isgrove just took over. And Morai, not happy with him this season. No goals, 3 assists, really not happy with him. He doesn't have the pace to be a winger. I might be selling Morai come the end of the season. We have Rory Mcardle, who came in whenever we needed him as a squad centre-back, and he's probably going to stay at that type of role unless I do a trade offer with him to get another centre-back in, because 28 years old at 62 rated. Really not going to see him in the future. Not going to see him in the Premier League, that's for sure. Alan Sheehan, 28-year-old left-back, only played a game, doesn't really do anything. Jason Kennedy, who's now happy, was asking to leave the club because he wasn't playing enough games. We chucked him in, and he scored an absolute screamer. He got a couple of assists, and he played 22 games by the end of the season. I was very happy with his performance. Still our 3rd central midfielder, though. He's not our starting centre mid. No way he's getting ahead of Harrison Reed and Billy Knott. Billy Clark, 19 games, 5 goals, pretty solid coming off the bench. I was happy with what he did this season. All I really wanted him to do was come off the bench and close games off, and that's pretty much what he did. So he's probably going to stay in the squad as our 3rd striker. Lewis and Clark didn't play any games. Hansen played 12 games, 3 assists. Pretty much I'm going to sell Hansen. I'm pretty much confirming that I will sell Hansen. He did well when we needed him, but I don't need him anymore, and he's quite expensive. 500,000 could get us another player. So I'm thinking of getting rid of Hansen. Gary Little, another central midfielder, played 24 games, and yeah, he was pretty solid. Nothing too special, but he wasn't bad either. Maybe I'll do a trade offer for him. Maybe I'll sell him. I'm not sure yet with Gary Little. Steed is on loan, and he's definitely not going to get re-signed. McLean, now we're going to take a look at our loan players. McLean, I'm going to sell. Elliot Barker, loan him out again, maybe. I don't really know. Matthew Irwin, again, not too impressed with these two, to be honest with you guys. Dylan Motley Henry, 17-year-old right mid with a decent amount of pace. Probably loan him out again. Matthew Dolan, 22 years old, 61 rated. Probably will loan him out again. Sam Wright, 51 rated. I'm not sure about that. Christopher Routis, probably gonna get sold. Pollard, probably gonna get sold. Howard, probably gonna get sold. Chippendale, maybe another loan for him. I'm not quite sure, but he's probably gonna get sold. And that wraps up the squad report. So what else do I have to do? We're gonna have to take a look at our top 5 for the MVP race. Alright, so that at the end of last episode, this is how it looked as far as the top 3 for EA's votes. This is how it's changed. Coming in 5th spot, it's a tie between Dobbie and Reed. Dobbie getting 4 EA votes and 4 personal votes from me. Puts him on a tally of 8. Reed got no EA votes. None. He got 8 votes from me on games that I thought he controlled the game really well. I play defensive mid in real life, so I have a certain respect, a certain acknowledgement for a defensive midfielder, and I saw him playing really well, so I gave him 8 votes, but EA never gave him a vote, so they tie in at 8th position. What am I talking about? In third position, it's Lloyd Isgrove, who came back and played incredibly well. He got 3 votes from EA, 6 votes from me. I thought he played absolutely astounding, and he comes up with a total of 9 points. In second, it's Sam Gallagher, who had an amazing end of the season. 5 EA votes and 5 personal votes, puts him on a tally of 10. But we all know who's going to be number 1, boys. It's Francois Zoko, 14 EA votes, 11 votes from me, puts him on a total of 25. Our MVP is not even one of our players. He's on loan, so... Alright, so taking a look at the playoffs, Leyton Orient beat Crawley, and then Scunthorpe, who beat Port Vale. So I was right. Leyton Orient did make it through with us, but Port Vale wasn't in the finals. So I actually did predict it quite close, and I actually predicted who was going to make it through correctly in Leyton Orient. So they'll be joining us in the championship, and it'll be fun to see where us, Preston, and Leyton Orient finish in the championship. But taking a look at the Champions League, Bayern beat Barcelona, which in real life didn't happen, 2-0. Not very realistic. Alright, so these are the first emails I've gotten on the next season. Domestic Cup objective, the round of 32. I think we could do that. Season budget of 550k. That's it. 550k for winning the league. Oh my god. I thought I'd have a couple million. Like 2 maybe. I was thinking like 1.5, 2 million. 500,000. Who am I going to sign with that? Oh, I didn't even check my league objective. Alright, my league objective is finish mid-table. I was kind of hoping it would be don't get relegated. 550k. That's nuts. But that brings us to the end of this episode, guys. Let's take a look at the championship league table at the end of the episode. As we always do, we look at the league table. Not that anything's happened, but there it is. Notably, can we take a look at anyone who got relegated from the Premier League? I should have checked this last season. West Brom, definitely. I can't see any other teams that were in the Premier League. Hull and Burnley. Okay, that's interesting. I'm surprised West Brom got relegated. But that brings us to the end of this episode, guys. If you enjoyed it, make sure you smash the like button down. Smash the like button down below. And if you're new around here, subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next episode. We'll be doing some transfers and playing some games. Keep it real.